Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Monday, April 18th, 2022, and today we'll be covering some paranormal news. As always, to find episodes and links to social media, ways to donate, and other ways to contact me, you can visit the podcast page, which is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions for shows, or if you have stories of experiences, whether they're your own or others that you trust. Happy to share them on the show, either in a written format by reading them, or if you want to be on the show, you're welcome to join me here as well. Um, and thank you all for listening, whether it's on. Thank you all for being here. Like I said, whether it's on the stream, the live stream, or the whether you listen to the YouTube or the podcast feeds, I appreciate everything, including all the wonderful comments here in chat. So, um, but I believe that takes care of all of that. So I can get on to this first story here. These are some of these are from Michael Strange of Troubled Minds Radio. Yeah, when I first started this news thing, he sent me some. So some of these are not quite from this weekend or anything, but they're still. I think they're still neat stories to share and articles to share. So, because I kind of saved up, and I realized I had 9 stories saved up, and I found another 9 this week. So I'm kind of going back through and kind of updating the list, I guess you could say. But anyway, we'll get to this first one, which is, have you seen anything weird over the ocean? Is the title of it. And it says the most compelling cases for me are the mass sightings events, and this is by Chris Leto. And this is on. Let's see here. This is on another website here. This is the Portugal News, actually. So let's see here. I'll just get into the article here, and so this is basically talking about UFOs, and sightings over oceans, especially where sightings are of either vehicles and or orbs. This article kind of talks about the state of research into all this, and so it talks about that. Talks about how a lot of people don't trust what the government has to say about the UFOs, just because of classified projects and all of that. But it lists some different waves of sightings, including one in Belgium in 1997. Included police sightings from different villages of a triangular craft. And then, of course, mentions the Phoenix Lights. And then it goes forward to 2007 to 2009 in Turkey, the country of Turkey, had cigar-shaped craft and mysterious lights. So, and let me see here. This is, apparently there's this, sighting in Florida that happened, that would appear and disappear without warning. And, has a video here that you can check out. And the account goes from, says in January of 1994. Um, there was the day before that. This witness, Ed Walters, had seen a UFO and a military jet at the same time. Um, and so let's see here. I'm just going through this here. So there's a whole list of sightings and just discussion of the topic in general. Looks like a long article. So it's there in the chat for you all to check it out and go from there. So a lot of these are just too long to really even summarize the entire thing. So, um, but anyway, so we can move on to the next one here. And this one is, let's see here. Let me copy and paste this. Yeah, yeah, and see that seems to be a common thing. Ken says I don't trust anything they have to say. The government, that is. It's hard. I think it's hard because there's so many people that make up the government that I think it's hard to know what all those people are um basically trying to do, what their jobs are, how they feel about what they're doing. I mean, I think there's a lot to that. I think it's very complicated in that way. So, I don't blame you there. I've said this before in other shows. I'm a lot more interested in witness accounts from just people, not reports so much as, and it can be military or police people that have these report or these sightings and talk about them. I'm just not, when it comes to reports and then redacted files and all that. That's just that's not as interesting to me personally. Say that. There's nothing wrong with looking into that if you are into all that. It's just not how I like to do things overall. So, but let me post this next link. Um, yeah, yeah. Ken says if they didn't release the truth the first time, why believe them the second or 100th time? Yeah, yeah. It's not. That's part of why I don't. I mean, I pay attention, but I don't look into a lot of that. So, but this next article is from a radio station, Hot 1079. It's called UFO sightings in Opelousas, Louisiana. Go to this one here. And let's see here. This talks about more UFOs. It mentions the first one, first UFO sighting ever in this country apparently took place in 1639, according to History.com, before we were even a country. And it reports basically that it talks about a light in the sky that kept going back and forth over a 2-mile distance for better than 2 hours. And there were other people that also saw these lights. Apparently, this was back in 1639. That's pretty amazing in a way. I'm always really fascinated by these reports that go back before any major government was around. There any kind of idea of don't report this because it's national security kind of thing. And so apparently, let's see here. It's just talking about the topic in general. And it looks like, let's see here. I'm trying to get through the okay, here we go. So this talks about the let me see here. I didn't check on the author of this article here. I'm still getting used to this doing the news thing. So thank you all for being patient with me as I do this. This is let's see here. It's from, at least their screen name is Jaycee published on March 29th, 2022. And this is, I already said the station. And so, yeah, let's get back to the part here that I think we want to see here. It says that the writer has seen some things in the night sky that they couldn't explain. Lights that darted across the sky. 3 lights in triangular formation, spinning in a circle. That's a different one, in a way. A glowing object that appeared to be on fire, yet left no smoke trail. And the writer says they don't know what those things were. It mentions the National UFO Reporting Center. And the earliest report has of UFOs in this area, this Appaloosa area, is from 2000. And it goes back to, mentions there are only 4 sightings in that area. But of course it mentions that a lot of people don't report these things all the time. So when it goes into individual sightings of a chevron shape, which and then other sightings here, I think it goes into all 4 of these sightings. Another chevron. Circular shape UFO, and then cylinder shaped UFO. So these are all apparently in the 20 teens, it looks like. Either way, fairly recently. So that's that article there. You can look into that for more details. And let's see here. So I think that covers that one. Go to this next one. But I always wonder about that. How many sightings are not reported? How many numbers? How much would the numbers go up of any of this stuff? Of the UFOs or any kind of paranormal activity? How much would reports of all this stuff go up if there was an actual way to report anything paranormal, and there wasn't any more of a stigma against it? I always wonder about that. So, but this one is from Cambridgeshire Live, and it says bright orbs and white lights spotted in sky above the area last year. This one here. And this is, let's see here. I'm not seeing okay. So this is talking about this one research group called UFO Identified. Had 2 cases of UFO sightings reported in that area last year. Let's see here. Let's scroll down a little bit. I still don't see any written by thing here, so. But the link is there in the chat, and I'll put all these links in the episode description, so you can check out everything in more detail there. Apparently, this UFO Identified is one of the largest UFO databases in the UK, and this report about this one area says basically gives the highest rating for each county and percentage of sightings versus population. Basically, a lot of details. And then, so apparently, in this area in general, the number of reports have dropped from 484 in 2020 to 413 in 2021 across the UK as a whole. But then So it goes into more detail about that. So it's more about the stats, and so here's the ones. Let's see here. So it just has several different sightings on June 10th in 2021 on Summersham at 11:10 a.m. A bright orb appeared, and oh, that's different. And multiple photos taken of a partial solar eclipse. So it mentions orbs, of course. We've talked a lot about that. Um, then on August 17th of 2021 in Bythorn, at an unknown time, there was a solid tube of white light that came from the ground, 60 to 100 feet. From there, the light was spotted above the village, appeared to go back into the ground. That's a different one. So that's basically just a column of light that slid up out of the earth high enough where people could see it. So, and then it slid back down into the earth. That's a wild. I've never heard of that one before. So that's basically it for this article. Again, there's more details in it about more particular cases. So that would be a good one to check out as well. So let's see here. Let's get to the next one. Now we're moving into more of the ghosts and hauntings kind of category for the rest of these articles here. So I will share that. Let's see here. That one posted. These are from a website called Only in Your State. This one and the next article that I'm going to share. That one, I would recommend that if you're looking for any kind of stories of places where there seems to be paranormal activity. I've done some research looking into these topics before over the years for different projects, and this website pops up a lot in the results. So I definitely recommend checking that website out. But this one says most people don't know the story behind Alabama's abandoned bridge. And let's see here. This one appears to be by Jennifer Young. And this one talks about how there are several places located in throughout the state where people have had experiences, including this one bridge, which is Hell's Gate Bridge in Oxford. So Oxford, which was founded in the early 1850s, and it's a town that's located in Calhoun, Talladega, and Cleburne counties. So apparently, wow, that's odd. It's basically touches or is part of 3 different counties. One of its most popular places to go, which also happens to be one of the most haunted landmarks, is this Hell's Gate Bridge, which is an abandoned bridge that's has a legend associated with it. According to several locals, in the 1950s, a young couple drove off the bridge and into the river. It says that if you stop on this bridge and turn your lights off, the young couple will enter your car and leave a wet spot behind on the seat because they've drowned. And apparently, according to reports, anyway, this has happened to many people, which is really amazing. If that really does happen, that is quite the experience. And apparently, there are several people that have reported seeing uh, a road behind them. Basically, so the road behind them appears to have changed when they're on that bridge, resembling basically the fiery gates of hell. Wonderful. I guess it's better to have that behind you than in front of you, but anyway. Um, so apparently in late 2005, early 2006, the bridge was officially closed to traffic, and cement blocks were added to make it impassable, so people can't drive across it. But they still go there by on foot. But it's not recommended because it's not safe, not stable, apparently. So, but as is the case with a lot of these places, there's people will go to them even if it's not safe, which is unfortunate because that's not good. No, and it says nobody knows if the story behind that bridge is 100% accurate, but several locals and visitors have had experiences there. Excuse me. Um, and mentions that apparently some paranormal investigators that have been there before didn't have any experiences there at all, which is odd in a way. But if they just went there one time, then that could explain that. So, but so that's basically the end of that article. It is. It seems like so many bridges out there have stories of hauntings attached to them. And again, that's I wonder how much of that is because it's a bridge over water, moving water, making that energy if things really do happen there. Whether there's a legend there or not, hard to say. Maybe even the combination of the water and then the people's expectations. Again, like I said, there have been places I've read about that have legends of whoever haunts the place. But then, if you try to look into the history of that place, you don't find um, anything to support those legends, and yet those places still have activity. So there's something to that, some kind of energy exchange or energy transfer from people that I'm guessing people that go there, they leave. I don't know, they leave energy and that accumulates and maybe either leads to things being created out of just thoughts and energy and or draws spirits there. I don't know how that works, but it's definitely something I've seen before when researching other haunted places. So we'll go to the next one here. This is again also from that website, only in your state. So I'll post the link in the chat. And this one says, out of all the hauntings surrounding the small town of Portsmouth, says this one might just be the creepiest. And this is in New Hampshire, in the U.S. And it mentions the one of the sites that is said to be haunted is this music hall, Portsmouth Music Hall, which is still functioning, and it may also be haunted. So let's see here. Going back into this further. And goes into a little bit about the state itself, the history of the state itself, mentioning it was originally home to various Native American tribes, and then English and French settlers first came there in 1600. The mentions Portsmouth is on the coast, seaside, and many sites that are supposedly haunted, including some cemeteries. So let's see here. So this music hall has a legend associated with it. It was built, excuse me, in 1806 during the Victorian era, um, and then part of it, so it has been restored since then, um, back to its the way it looked before, as much as possible. Originally, it was used as a temple for religious concerts. Um, even though at one point the original building burned down in 1876, but then it was rebuilt, um, and it was rebuilt and basically improved. Apparently, at that point, they didn't. They switched from more from the religious side to just regular uh, concerts, and it hosted a lot of different people there, such as uh, so basically, it's more than just musicians. But Mark Twain, Henry, Henry, Harry Houdini, John Phillips Sousa, Buffalo Bill Cody, and Maud Adams. I don't know who that one is. As for ghosts, no one knows exactly who or what's there, but there's reports of things happening there. And according to multiple eyewitnesses, apparitions have been seen walking on stage behind the closed curtains, causing the curtains to move a little bit. Patrons have also reported mist. It's like a shadow mist that apparently appears on stage and actually gets in the way of actors. Um, and mentions this article mentions that the place does hold many public events, so you can go check the place out yourself if you're in the area. Let's see here. And that's basically it. It has a lot of different pictures of the place, which is always good, I think. Need to see pictures of places like that. So, I believe that's it for that article. I just copied that link and I didn't need to. So, anyway. So we'll move on to this next article. And this brings me back to my topic of you never know what's going on with these paranormal reality shows, but according to Ghost Adventures, it says that this one doll shop is very haunted. Also, if I don't know if anyone just saw, but recently, the host Zach Baggins is still working with that the travel or Discovery networks. Still putting out shows. He's been going at that now for years. But let's see, did I put it in there? I think I did. Let's check. Okay, I did. So, and this is from the New York Post. And let's see here. And this is the funny thing about this. Sometimes you can find articles on the paranormal, and they'll be when you find them, they'll be in different categories that you might not expect, such as real estate. This was apparently written by one Hannah Frischberg. Hope I'm saying that name right. Let's see here. So let's see here. Get into the article here. This one says there's more than toys in this antique shop. It's let's see here. It was founded in 1989, and they've basically stocked collectible dolls in their shop, which is I didn't even know this was the name of the area. It's Camel by the Sea in California. And then in 2009, one of the owners bought an old building in the neighboring city, Pacific Grove, and basically set it up to become the business's new location. And then the renovation has been finished, but it looks like at some point, or before it even, some spirits have moved in during all this, or even before all this. Um, and apparently that's where the activity started. Let's see here, I'm trying to find reports of what's going on there, but if you have dolls, then there's lots of possibilities there for what can be going on. So apparently, the owners there just feel that there's energy surrounding the dolls. Um, but then there's also an upstairs unit that has been had activity there as well. Let's see here. Hopefully, it'll get more into this. Okay. So, for years, the owners have received complaints about construction sounds coming from a third floor apartment in the building, but that unit is actually vacant. So they don't know what's making the sounds. And there's even been reports from people, from neighbors, hearing noises from the shop at night after it's closed. Um, so let's see here. So it's more than just the show itself being there. Um, so yeah, let's see here. Apparently they've gotten in this when this Ghost Adventures uh, crew came there. Um, there were EVPs recorded. Apparently, at one point, this is kind of interesting in a way. When the investigators asked, "Who are you?" there was a response that said, "I don't know." That's unsettling. Um, so let's see here. That's basically it for that one. There's more details about the show itself that was there, and so yeah, I think that's But I find the reports from the people in the area even more interesting than the show itself being there. But so that's neat. That's seems like it's an active site. I feel bad for the neighbors though if they're hearing noises from that building and it's closed and empty. Because how do you stop that? You really pretty hard to unless you want to go in there and do some kind of cleansing of it. And so you never know. I don't know. But so we'll move on to the next article here. And let's see here. Paste that in the chat. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully you all enjoy this because I like looking into all these articles. But so this next article is it's from the Sun. Let's see here. The Scottish Sun. Apparently, there's different countries that have different, or regions have different versions of it. Excuse me. And this one is from Chris Taylor, and it says, The title is "I'm a Ghost Hunter." And then terrifying specter sightings make Scotland the most haunted country in the UK. That's quite the claim. But then again, there's those kind of claims about all kinds of areas, so it's hard to say. And this is from paranormal investigator John West, who has put together a collection of stories of experiences after touring the area. And let's see here. Apparently, put it together into a book. And he says, like I said, that's the most haunted part of the UK. And apparently, have been ghost armies seen, opposing armies even of let's see, battles between uh, just I think it's Jacobite and then Royalist armies. There's a report there also of a mountain dwelling creature and even a fleet of spirit, basically ghost ships, Viking ghost ships. So let's see here. What else are they talking about in this one? So that's basically. Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Um, oh nope, there's more. Apparently, there's been reports of sightings of a 30-foot gray man said to haunt the hills of Ben McCully in the Karen Gordons. I'm slaughtering these names, and I apologize. Apparently, the these this has been seen by climbers, people climbing this mountain in this area again. Mountains again seem to show up in these sightings. Um, but 30 foot, that's a giant right there. So also there's one medieval building in Edinburgh, said to be haunted by the ghost of a warlock. Um, so let's see here. And it just talks a little bit more about the author of the book. And so yeah, that's the 30-foot sighting. That's 30-foot figure. That is a giant. There's no way around that one. So, but let's see here. So we have two more articles to go, and then we'll be done here. Let's just check on the time. Good. Okay. I'm not going to read everything in these again, like I always say, because there's just too much. If you're looking for some stories of experiences, these next two articles will give you some of those. And this one is these next two are from a website called Scoop Whoop or something like that. And it's 10 people reveal what it is like to talk to ghosts and spirits. I think I'm gonna get some water real quick. Apparently I need it. Just one moment, please. Sorry about that, but I could hear my voice getting worse and worse there. Not fun. An article um, posted it on April 9th, and it's written by Alia Jane. And so let's see here. It mentions that there's some people do believe in the paranormal, others don't. Um, and let's see here. Gets to basically these are all stories of experiences. So I'll go through the first one here. Talks about someone. It doesn't really, let's see here. Okay, so it does give names, but I'm not going to say those on the show. But this is from someone says when their grandmother passed away. This was 46 years ago. The writer went to their funeral and then the cemetery. 3 nights later, the writer was at home, crying, missing her a lot. And apparently, at the time, the writer of this account lived out in the country, and so there were no streetlights anywhere. But apparently, there was this bright light that appeared in the room, and she could see it even through her closed eyes. And her grandmother basically appeared to her there in that room. And said hello, and not to worry, and then disappeared. So let's see what the next one in here is. These aren't too bad. These aren't too long. This one says, my mother passed away in 1994, and my daughter was born in 1996. Um, and so this story goes on and talks about how when the daughter was 18 months old, she was playing on the floor, and the writer was about 4 feet away in a chair reading a book, and then checking on, just looking over at the baby. And suddenly, the 18-month-year-old stopped playing, looked up at the mother, and said, "I have a daughter. I have a granddaughter too." And then she went back to playing. And let's see here. And then basically, the writer says that they knew it was their mother letting the writer know, um, that this basically the spirit knew about the spirit's grandchild. There are some very crazy stories of what kids will say when they're having paranormal experiences. It really is. I may have to do a show on that at some point because that's I've heard some stories about that. It's very things that you wouldn't expect any kid to say. So, but I'm gonna let you all look at the rest of this article in your own time, because it's already been. This is running low on time here, I guess you could say. But I've got one more article. Again, this is from that same website, and so I'll share the link again. Um, and let's see here. Oh, thank you, APOC. Yeah, no worries if you're driving. So let's see here. Have a safe drive. So let's see. There's one more article here, and this is apparently more about. Says 12 people share their scariest paranormal experiences at hospitals. So again, this does go back to hospitals, hotels, I think, and then there's one other place and I'm forgetting it now. But let's see here. So this is more stories of experiences. Let's see here. And this I can't even say that person's name. I don't know how to say it. But this is and so the article basically is just more experiences. This one, um, I'll read a couple of the stories here, summarize a couple of the stories from here. This first one, the writer says that they were in the linen room stocking their cart, and they heard someone shuffle up behind them, and then they felt a hand on their shoulder. And they turned around, and there was no one else in the room, and the door was still closed. Another person there at the hospital complained that there was someone going into their room at night, although the writer says the person had Alzheimer's, so they didn't think much of it. So, basically, this person that worked there, I guess, would go in at night and check on them, and so this patient in this hospital complained about this for a while, and it went on for about 2 weeks. And the writer asked the patient to describe them, and they did. And they also mentioned that he was right behind the writer at that moment. So, of course, there was no one behind me. And apparently, the next night, the patient passed away in their sleep. So let's see here. Let's see about the next one. The next one is pretty short as well, so I'll read the next or summarize the next one here. This writer works in a long-term care facility, and a lot of the patients there um, claim to see either small dogs or children, and then eventually, not long after that, they always pass. Um, and they mentioned the one other place they're working at now claims to see a similar thing. So, um, so yeah, that's odd. Basically, seeing the same things from one place to another. I don't know. Sounds almost like more like there's spirits or someone or something following this writer from work site to work site. That's not good. But anyway, so there's more stories in that article as well. So, I believe that's it for tonight. Thank you all for listening and being here. And we'll do this again next Monday, as always. Tomorrow will be more true paranormal stories from the web. Wednesday will be another book review with some H.P. Lovecraft in there. And Thursday is more true paranormal stories from the web. Friday we'll be getting back to the topic-based episodes. I'm not going to say a lot about that just now because it looks like it might be a 2-part series, maybe a 3-part series. I don't know. Still researching it. So, but that will be fun as well. So, thank you all for being here, and I will talk to you all tomorrow night on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care.